This house is currently 125 years old. I've lived here for 45 years. Oh dear, where to begin? On my watch, many people, friends, family, waifs and strays from home and abroad have passed through, some staying for a short while, others for years. There have been times when the house has seemed full to bursting, and others when it's just been me. Each and every room has seen light and fun, laughter, joy, sometimes calm and comfort, and at other times chaos and darkness and sorrow. This is probably true of all houses, but unusually I've been the constant for 45 years. And I guess I'm trying to recapture some of the memories, the life, and the emotion that the house has contained, and that for me has become part of the fabric of the house. When I leave, as leave I must eventually, the richness of the fabric may be lost. I hope these reflections help to create a lasting record of that fabric for those I leave behind. Sometimes, when I'm alone, I wander from room to room, just gazing and enjoying the look and the feel. I remember all the things that have happened in each room and all the people that the house has engaged with. When I'm in the attic, I think of how it served as a sanctuary for me over the years. The place where I secretly packed Christmas presents and hid them from everybody, where I did my sewing, and where most of my professional activities took place, my reading and my research and my writing. But it's also doubled as a place for friends and family, many of whom at various times needed longer-term shelter and support in one form or another, and needed the privacy that the loft room afforded. The staircase leading down from the loft has a narrow shelf with various little boxes on it with coins and pebbles and stones in them. Stanley, my youngest grandson, and I have spent many a happy hour rubbing the pebbles and stones against each other's cheek to determine whether they were cool or warm, smooth or rough or scratchy. These were lovely, intimate moments that we both took great pleasure in. Stanley will probably grow up and forget these warm memories, but for me they're not to be forgotten. The green room started out as Emma, my daughter's bedroom, with a cot in it. From the window in the evening you can see Venus rising, and I would hold her while we sang Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star together. Nearly 40 years later, I did the same with Stanley. In between these times, it was a bedroom for my husband Bob and I, as Emma and her friends needed the space of the master bedroom. It was here, in the green room, one miserable night, I realised that I would not be able to have any more children. It's now reverted back to a children's room full of storybooks and toys and doll's house, which my dad redecorated, painting the number 81, the number of my house, on the front door. Children who now visit always make a beeline for that room and that doll's house. The master bedroom, or Moutard room, so named by good friends of mine, started out and has ended up as my bedroom, sometimes shared with others, sometimes mine alone, and often given up to visitors. I love this room, and I hope this is where I'll end my days. It's so calm and comforting now, but when it was given over to Emma and her friends in their teenage years, it was a raucous and a noisy place. The loo has always been very popular for a bit of quiet reading, and the stack of eclectic books in there was a very important addition. The bathroom can be a place of solitude. It's a place where adults like to wash, relax and reflect. I've bathed many children here, including both Emma and 40 years later Stanley, and at such times it becomes a place of noise and fun, chaos and laughter. The Pink Room has always been a resting place for the long and shorter term visitors. People and their stuff seem to be constantly moving in and out of this room. It's also the place where people like to be if they feel poorly, whether with a bad back or measles or a migraine or something more serious. It looks out onto trees and gardens, and it usually helps recovery and brings a sense of calm and restoration. The hallway downstairs has been the main telephone spot over the years, bringing good news and bad. It's the bad I remember most, sickness and death of close friends and family, including my dad. I remember one particular call that left me on the floor rocking in grief. The front room used to be 2 rooms. The second room was Bob's library and den, full of books, records, tapes, CDs and dust. I avoided it most of the time, and it was a nightmare to clear when he died. The first room was the sitting room where we would play music, talk, drink and dance with friends and family. We had many a crazy party in this room. It was also the room where Bob chose to spend his final days and died, with his best friend Len and myself at his bedside. The now extended room is to me a calm and beautiful place, especially at Christmas with the tree and the lights and the fire. I love sitting in here listening to music, whether with friends or alone. I often walk into this room and just look at it. It gives me so much pleasure, even though it's also been a place of considerable pain. The kitchen diner, I guess, is the real heart of the house. It's where I and many others have cooked and eaten and drank and talked and laughed and argued, whether around the dining table or squashed together during parties. I have a huge plate that I usually fill with food for all to share, and it's become the centrepiece of meals in this house. I love cooking for people, but I usually manage to get others to do the washing up. After one particularly lively do, the only place I could find to sleep was under the dining room table. This is the room where I feel I've nurtured so many children, and those children's children, over the years, playing games, telling each other stories, talking, or just having a cuddle. This has been a constant joy and privilege. It is the people that have made this house for me. Although their presence hasn't always been convenient, I would never have wished for it any other way. And I'm very lucky to have a house that could be so accommodating.